Hello everyone, this is Brittany coming to you from the Edulance headquarters with all the news that's not fit to print. A new website launched this week from the founder of Dig. WeFollow.com aims to organize and shamelessly promote those self-promoters that are constantly clogging up the Twitter servers. Kevin Rose's brainchild will help to further develop the divide between those who don't matter and those who apparently do in this fast-growing micro-blogger world that is Twitter. Okay, I have to admit, I'm a bit of a Twitter virgin myself. Okay, maybe I've gone to second base, a tiny twit, if you will, but now WeFollow.com will allow me to take my Twitter relationship to the next level, and only with the people that really, truly matter. At first, I was a little taken aback by the vapid vanity of the whole thing, but then I realized I was actually learning something. Like the fact that Shaq can't spell to save his rapidly aging basketball career. Or the fact that Joe Biden has had a Twitter for almost 2 years, which I guess makes him ultimately cooler than me. And I have to admit, it was a little exciting to read about Jane Fonda's rendezvous with Robert Redford backstage of her Broadway show. Okay, so though I was a little hesitant at first, I guess you can say I'm Twitter-pated. Because let's face it, knowing what Jimmy Fallon had for breakfast is ultimately way more important than anything the people I care about have to say. Well, while we're on the topic of Dig, it makes sense to mention that the Rocky Mountain News, a 149-year-old daily Denver paper, has recently shut down. Add that to the list of newspapers that have recently filed for bankruptcy protection. The Los Angeles Times, the Chicago Tribune, the Minneapolis Star-Tribune, and I guess you could say that websites like Craigslist and Dig are finally accomplishing what they set out to do, making the news media obsolete and allowing the public to decide what's fit to print, read, list, and debate, bringing democracy back to the news, while swigging beer, hawking escorts, and posting homemade videos all the way to the bank. I am deeply saddened by this extinction of the newspaper. I mean, there's a certain sentiment that goes along with having a physical copy of the daily news while, drinking a cup of coffee or a glass of orange juice or the occasional Bloody Mary every day or so. Plus, how can I be expected to scrapbook about the fun events in my community with no newspaper to clip from? And this whole idea of democratic news, by the people, for the people, is decidedly dangerous. I mean, without the news media to tell us what to say and think and do, who will? Us? Pfft, that's ridiculous. This just in from our international department. 84% of Germans in their 20s say they would rather give up their significant other than give up their access to the internet. They commented that life without the web would be unthinkable, and life without their spouse would be, I guess, not that bad as long as you have the internet to keep you company. Huh. Now, I'm usually a big proponent of FaceTime over Facebook, but I will admit that there is a certain attachment to this web society that our internet world has become. But to replace an entire person is taking it a step too far. At the end of a long day, can you really go home to snuggle up to your laptop? Sure, the aluminum alloy makes for a good cuddle buddy, that's a given, but does it know how to press your start button? If not, perhaps it's time to Control-Alt-Delete and find a real-life replacement for that dissatisfying PC. Or maybe just switch to a Mac? With more than 10,000 people a day signing up for Twitter, the user total has now exceeded 6 million and is showing no signs of slowing down. With hundreds of thousands of news stories mentioning the popular micro-blog each week, case in point, we found the following list of 5 things more popular than Twitter to be quite interesting. The following 5 had more than 6 million viewers each in its day, and this might put things into perspective for you. Number 1, MC Hammer's Please Hammer, Don't Hurt 'Em. Number 2, Fanta. Number 3, Hamsterdance.com. Number 4, 98 Degrees. And number 5, pet birds. I don't really have too much to say about this topic, except that, finally, 98 degrees is good for something. Even if it is just to prove that some bad fads just don't last. Thankfully. Well, that's it for us here in the newsroom. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.